men foolery. It's like, all right, let's sit down. This is what we get. Are you free, sir?
I'm free.
Are you ready to do what you came to do?
I put my phone on ring.
Don't put your phone on ring. All right. So, first off, I want to say thank you for both of you for taking part in this project that I have going on. You are the first, so thank you so much, and you will be the litmus for how it goes for everybody else. I'm going to give you the idea of what my concept is, and then we can start from there.
Sounds good.
So, for a while now, I've been doing coaching, and a lot of both of you know what kind of coaching I do. But I've been realizing lately that a lot of the problems that I've been seeing are because there isn't a lot of support for men. And so my goal with this project, and I'm calling it the ListNing project, is to sit down with a bunch of men. Preferably, my goal is to have 100 various men from ages and demographics and walks of life, and just get your perspective on the male experience. Honest, candid conversations. I've come up with a bunch of questions that have been plaguing me, even in my own situations, that I feel like if women get an honest perspective of what you guys really have going on, or the things that you really don't get a chance to talk about, even amongst your own friend groups, that we can get a better understanding. Women, for the most part, are taught to nurture in nature from birth. And men, it's not necessarily that, but I think you guys take a hard hit for that when it's expected for you to do the things that might, lead into that. And so that's kind of what this is. And I think if we help you all, then communication, relationships, and overall experiences in life get better.
Yeah.
Women, we got a lot of support. We make support even when there ain't support. But you guys don't, you guys don't necessarily have that space, and I would like to create that space for you. So,
sounds good.
Rules of engagement. I am absolutely not going to change your likeness. You are going to present yourself as you are. I'm never going to change that. I want it to be honest, truthful. I didn't provide you with the questions up front, as I was telling Juan, because I don't want it to be rehearsed. I want everything that's going to be said and happening to be true to form, because I feel like you guys do enough practicing for the world. This is not the space for that. This is honest. This is your chance to be the real you. And so with that, are we ready?
Ready to go get it.
Yep.
Okay. So let's start off with what would you say men need more of in this world?
Men or black men?
Let's start off with the whole gender, and then we'll tailor it down to black men.
Okay.
Men need more of this, and men need more of what we are trying to provide as far as the man cave as well. We need more safe spaces. We need more time to congregate as men and actually empower men to open up with other men about issues that they're going through. So I think a lot of these different groups, even if it isn't our group, even if we can, get more outreach groups out here for men, I think that is critical. That is key. That's the first step, to provide men a safe space where they can get amongst each other, be able to let out their emotions, be able to let out things that they're thinking, and then eventually move into the place to where we can get that out for women as well. Being able to learn how to communicate that to women, to our women, or to our mothers, to our aunts, any of that as well. So.
Okay, awesome. Those?
I would say men need to we need to find and understand that what our value is in life. We're always told we should do this, or we're supposed to do this and do that, but there is never a substance behind it to tell us why we got to do this.
Okay.
We're not groomed. We're not groomed. We're not groomed to know what our real purpose is.
Mm.
Growing up as a boy, especially if you have both your parents in your house, your mom is going to be the natural nurture. I love you. You're a good person, this and that. But then your dad is going to be there and say, okay, hey, I need you to be strong. You got to do this.
Yeah.
But
there's no why behind it.
There's no, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then when we get older as men, we find out, well, if we're fortunate, we find out what our value is by that good old thing called life. It beats you up, and then you find your way. Mm-hmm. If we're fortunate, if you're fortunate as a man, that's a big topic. That's really my answer. We got to find our purpose, our true purpose, and why we have this purpose.
Okay. I like that. That kind of leads into one of my questions that I had is, what do you think when I make this statement? Young men do not know the true value of themselves outside of their body. And you kind of hinted on that, but how do you propose that society goes about teaching young men you're more than just sex, you're more than just your body, you're more than sports, you're more than, a meal ticket for a person, you're more than, maybe the provider for your family in the future in many aspects? Like, how do we get young men to see value in themselves early on?
Let me get this one first. Mm-hmm. I can only speak from the Black experience.
Mm-hmm.
Before we can teach that young man what his value is, I think that as African Americans, we have to create, cultivate, and recognize that we need an actual structure in the culture. African Americans do not have, my personal belief, we do not have a culture. We adopted everybody else's culture and try to make it ours.
Okay.
We're out here in this system trying to do we're trying to do the same thing, which was what built for the white man.
Mm-hmm.
But make it ours, and we can't do that.
Okay. So do you feel like, as Americans, the things that we've made great or made better than what it originally was, do you think that is not a culture that's just a byproduct of making things better?
I do. And I say that because what do we have? I mean, most of us cannot even trace our lineage or where we come from. And I ain't talking about Africa, I'm talking about in the States. We can't trace that back. Whereas most other ethnicities can go out and say, well, I came from here, and they have a culture that's passed down through their generations about what they stand for and how they go about things.
Okay.
We just adopt.
Adopt and make better.
Yes. We go out, I mean, whether we have those who have money, those who are middle class, and those who are in the hood, we just adopt and adapt, but we never create.
Interesting.
So we're really out here playing checkers when everybody's playing chess.
Okay. Juan, what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on it, going back to your first question, is just we have to first, before we show them their value, we have to learn our value first. Get our value aligned, get our perspective, get right in our mind so that we can place it down to those under us. Because I don't think I don't think historically it's always been done the right way of, the trickle down effect, especially with broken homes and things of that nature. So first is learning our value and then taking the time to actually talk to these kids. More than just the video games, more than, like you said, than just sports, but actually building that kind of mentorship, actually having a conversation with these kids. I think that's a very, 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 very well, kind of lost art, just the art of conversation, so that piece of it as well.
Do you think that in doing that, and a lot of the guys in your group are really big on mentoring, and whether it's amongst yourselves or others, do you feel like men are natural nurturers, or do you have to be taught that? When you think about your life overall, both of you are parents, do you feel like it was always in you to be a nurturer and someone told you that that's not appropriate for you to be a male and be? Or do you feel like that's something that you had to learn needed to be in your toolkit as a parent later on? Which one do you think falls in line with you?
I'll speak for me. I definitely was taught to go out and get it. The nurturing came from learning and going back and, kind of seeing different instances, even though I had both parents. But it was just always grind mentality for me. So I was taught to work hard, worry about your feelings later, but go out there and get it, do what you need to do to protect you and protect your future family as well. That's what I was taught as a young man. Even I passed that down to my son, to my oldest son, and that's something that now I'm trying to change and trying to be better for my kids that are younger now. You know what I mean? And not instilling that same thing with them of you just got to focus on grinding, focus on doing what you need to do. So this time around, I have a 19-year-old. I did that with him, but now with the youngest one, I'm working on being a lot more nurturing, a lot more loving, a lot more speaking into his life positive things, even at a young age. So that's something I'm working on personally. Because I do see the damage that, it does do and has done within our community. So.
Okay. And you, sir?
Yeah. For me, it came naturally, just to be a nurturer. But I think we need to think about that word nurturing. Just because we take care and nurture something doesn't mean that we can't, we'll do it the same way that a woman would do it. But we still take care of them. I mean, playing with your child, having fun playing with them and teaching them and playing with them, throwing them in the air, whatever it is, because you got a boy, girl, whatever. Just fun and spending time with them. That's nurturing.
Absolutely.
True.
And people, they always get nurtured as the mom taking care of the company. She's holding them and feeding them. No, we both, men can both be nurturers and protectors and providers. And unfortunately, that is not looked at nowadays. They just look, okay, you got to be a provider, a protector and provider.
That's a great point.
But if you don't nurture what do you think most of us are doing when we raise these kids up to be like us or be better? That's nurturing.
Yes.
So just like I think the man can do everything, the woman does it as well. But it's just done in different facets. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that leads into the great debate of, in my mind, what exactly in your mind is a provider and protector? And does that match with what you feel like society is doing to men by placing that on you? You must be, in order to be valuable, a provider and protector.
I think the first thing is that being a provider is always seen to be, especially with social media now, it has to be money based. You can provide for your lady or your children. I believe first it starts providing for them spiritually.
Okay.
As the same, and as protection, you have to protect them spiritually. You groom them from the inside and then go out. Money is the last thing should be on the plate. You build So I could build them spiritually. Then you build them mentally. Then you provide for them to show them, hey, you can do this. I mean, that's what we do for our kids every day. If you think about it, we build them up. Whether it's, whatever, whoever religion it is, hey, you have Christ out here. You should, this is what we teach. We teaching them. So we build them spiritually. Then we go mentally. Okay, know what? If you have issue, come talk to mommy and dad. We are a safe place for you. We don't get punished for this. Boom. And then next thing, I'm gonna show you how to make money. Let me show you how to do a checkbook. So everything has to go internally to externally. Yeah, exactly. But society has now been, you better have you gotta make this amount of money. It's not about that. Because that's what I've known the happiest households that have minimum. Because who said was it big? More money, more problems. That's a true statement. There's more money, more problems. I mean, they have solutions, but you don't have to be the richest family on the block to be happy.
I agree.
So,
yeah, society tells you got to be a man to make over 6 figures. You got to be a man to make 200,000. You got to be a man that pays all the bills. You got to be the man that buys the house. To be a protector, you got to be willing to go beat somebody up on that corner if they say something smart to you. But to me, being a provider and a protector is, on a protector front, it's praying. Praying for that person, praying over your family. That's protection at its finest.
That's it.
You can't get no better than that to me as far as protection. Protecting is also looking out for your kids' best interests as well as your wife, your mate, whoever that may be. Just looking out for their best interests. It can be that. That's a provider as well. Providing is also going above and beyond to provide and protect for your family. As far as it doesn't just mean financially. It could be that, hey, the support, the nurturing, like we talked about. It could also be instilling values, instilling faith. It can be all those different types of things that society does not talk about. And I think that's lost in this last generation as well.
Okay. So it's funny that you both gave your descriptions, and it kind of confirmed for me exactly why this project is so important. Because at no point in it did either one of you say, I need to provide and protect for myself.
That's true.
At no point. Like, it's always external and other people. And I really feel like in order for you to be your best self, in order for you to be able to provide and protect your family in whatever aspect, you've got to know how to provide and protect yourself.
That's true.
You're praying for other people. You're teaching your children how to learn and navigate this world. But you're losing the art of doing that for yourself. Like, how often are you going internal and saying, I need to give myself a little bit of love. Like, I see y'all, but at this point, I need to go inward and love on myself. And I feel like a lot of men go through their whole life with fathers, grandfathers, uncles, homeboys, society telling them this amount of money, this amount of time, this amount of effort equals manhood. But at no point do they say, at this point, you need to stop and take a breath for yourself.
It's funny you said that, because I'm 50 years old. I didn't realize that I had to start drinking water before I give out water until I was 43 years old.
Yes.
And it took, unfortunately, but everything happened. It took for me to go through my divorce, go through my depression, and a good friend came and said, hey, man, if you don't take care of you, and that's all he just put that straight statement right there. If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of your kids.
That is a fact.
Everything I did, it's like the cartoon, that butt went right on off. And that's when I learned how to start drinking water. And if I got some left.
If I got some left, then I can share with you. But right now, this is about me. Absolutely. Yeah. I really feel like men overall, they lose their mortality and still never get a chance to take that water for themselves. They die soon, they die early, they die trauma based because they never took that drink of water.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that.
And it could be the guilt of feeling too. Sometimes people will make you feel like if you do something for yourself or some type of self-care, then you're being selfish because you're not looking out for them at the particular time that they want you to.
But what's wrong with that? At a certain point, what's wrong with that? Because as most men will say, yeah, every woman has had a point in her life where she's selfish. I want what I want, whether it's education, whether it's I want to raise my kids the way that I want to raise them, or however. Like, when do you start, even like I said, instilling in the young men that it's okay to be selfish?
Yep. It's almost to the point like this, and not a negative way. And this is a society thing, honestly, but we forget the first rule of life:
self-preservation.
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
If I got a family out here, and it sounds so selfish if you take the way you want. If me, my wife, and I have 3 kids, 4 kids, well, how many kids we got? And there's a little bit of food left, but I'm expected to do everything. If I don't eat, I can't take care of them to go out to hunt for more food. Most people say, well, I got to feed the kids first. Or I got to feed my wife first. But then I'm dying of nutrition. So now I have no energy to protect you.
Yeah.
I can't go out and hunt for food. So we have to get into a mindset when it comes to that self-preservation, is that it's not self-preservation for today, it's for
the long.
Yeah. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
I like that a lot. Okay. Next question might be a little uncomfortable.
No.
But I want you to breathe through it.
Yeah.
Who exposed you to your most unhealthy traits?
My dad. That's the easy one. My dad.
Really?
Yeah. I just seen how he was. He wasn't a bad guy. It's just that I seen how he was, in a sense. But again, when it comes back to that, when I turned 43, when everything kind of like really kicked in. I seen how, and I say my unhealthy traits in the sense that I seen them work. You'll come home, hey, love you, Lowe's, blah, 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 blah. Give my mom a kiss and everything, but then he'd be dead tired. And I seen him work. Everybody said that, well, that's not a bad thing, but no, he worked himself. Well, I mean, thank the Lord. I still have both my parents.
Okay.
But
that's great.
Yes. Yeah. But he worked himself so much that I really didn't have a childhood. So, and that's why, it made me terrible. That's why my progression in the Air Force wasn't as prominent, because I put my family first. I didn't really care about, okay, you know what to do. Let me get home, make sure my kids know that daddy loves them. So
sometimes you have to make that though.
Yeah.
And it's important. Like, and being honest, and this is what I'm saying, like this safe space is what I feel is needed.
Yeah.
Because there's so many men that have learned these unhealthy traits and they go through these life-changing events. And they've never gotten a chance to feel. They don't feel because feeling is too much. It's too deep. I won't be able to recover from it. If my lady see me cry too much, she might think I'm weak. And it's like, nah, that is strong as hell to be able to say, you know what? I got to give myself this space to feel this so I don't break later on. That's how you guys go through midlife crises. You hit 50. I want to just blow up and implode everything that I've worked all these years for, because why?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter now. At this point, none of it matters because I don't know who I am and I'm totally unhealthy, unhappy, miserable, and I need some type of something.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for being able to be honest and vulnerable in that space? Thank you.
For me, you know what, I can't even pinpoint one person. For me, it's the environment. Growing up in the environment that I did grow up in, growing up in Cincinnati on the west side, like I just knew I just want to do whatever I can to get the hell out of Cincinnati, which is why I'm in Texas now. So I wouldn't turn up the same way as some of my friends or be shot dead or be in jail for 20, 30 years, whatever, because I'm trying to make a living for my family because we back there only getting paid like $10, $12 an hour, whatever. So I'm blessed enough to say that, you know, even though I ran the streets, did, you know, stuff that I did back then, I did have people who didn't let me get too far off in the deep end in the streets to where, you know, it could have been a casualty for me, or, you know, I could have been in a totally different place than where I am now. So I do thank God every day for giving me the strength to up and move and make this leap down here to Texas, even when people thought I was crazy because I was leaving my son. My son was, you know, he was the only thing that I knew at the time, or that he knew at the time. So it was hard leaving him, but I had a plan, a vision in mind that, hey, I'm going to get down here, break through, do what I need to do, get myself in a better position so that I can bring him down here with me. And I did. I did what, you know what I mean, a lot of fathers wouldn't do. I got myself in a better place. I moved my son down here with me so that he can grow with me and learn how to be a man, learn how to be on his own with that. So,
Yeah.
So these young men that are growing up with these unhealthy traits now, what would you say if you had one in the room and you had the opportunity to tell them something about these traits? Because you said, you know, being a provider and, you know, making money. For those of them that are truly the providers for their families at 15, 16 years old, what would you suggest that they do knowing that they are really being sent out to slaughter, most of them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you say to them to kind of get them to understand that their life is important? And I understand that you're in a bad position, but this is what you could do or should try to do while you're kind of circling out of that. Because most of the time it's generational. Like, I don't know anything other than this lifestyle. It's not really what I want to do, but I'm the man of the house. I gotta make money. Da, 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 da. How would you help them to see better?
Most of the time, those kids, these young men, most of the time they are the rock. So everything comes upon them. One of the first things I would try to tell them is find another rock that you can lean on. Then build your, try to find a small, I mean, hopefully they have family around, but find that other rock that you can lean on, and then try to form your own little community called rock. Hence the man cave. We're a whole bunch of rocks, but if we lean on each other, we become older. So I would try to find somebody that, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be the same age. Find you a mentor, somebody who you aspire to be, and look up to them and say, hey, can you guide me and help me out?
So what happens if all of the mentors around them are just on lucky or on borrowed time that they did not get caught up in the system? Well, they did get caught up in the system, and they're just, they had enough money stashed away to make it through the bid to get out and re-up and do the next thing. Like, you know, where would someone that has never been even taught the importance of education, whether it's traditional or on your own, where would they look to find that mentor or that positive role model?
Personally, me, and a lot of people may disagree, I would say church. If you can find a church.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because yesterday I had a whole mentorship with my other guys at church. We had about 30 kids there, all men, all little boys, aging from, I think, 7 to 22.
That's great.
And one guy, he came in, he briefed life lessons because he's a retired cop.
Okay.
And he taught them, hey, this is what you need to be doing. And because the best thing he did was give an example of what happened to him when he was young. Mm-hmm. He got pulled over by another black cop and was treated dirty. So he gave that example that, you know, I wanted to fix that. So I became a cop. Mm-hmm. And I used my power to correct what that guy did to me to other black boys. Then we had another guy after that. He's taught financial literacy. Mm. So in a sense, I think you have to find that safe place. Sometimes church is not going to be the answer, but that's my answer right now. Right. Because I don't know. I mean, we know we got a man cave out here, and we're trying to foster that same thing. But of course, we're still young and we're growing. So, but there's churches all over San Antonio, church all over USA. Yeah. So I mean, you go outside, especially in the hood. That's the one thing I say. Most hood, you find more churches in the hood than you will anywhere else. So especially here in Texas, I know.
And he touched on a little bit of what I was going to say, but 3 things I would say to tell a young man is find your self-care early and focus on that. Find you a healthy habit or a healthy distraction, whether it be, let's say you shoot pool or, it's nothing wrong with playing a video game maybe an hour, out of the day. You don't have to do it all day, but something healthy distraction away from life. And then also the 3rd thing I would say is picking up a book. Mm-hmm. There's so much knowledge and resources out there. And that's why I say you touched on it, like learning financial literacy, learning healthy habits, learning productive habits. All of that stuff is in books that you can read, as well as the Bible as well. So I would definitely say that as well. So.
Okay. So in that, how would you suggest we go about creating literacy for young men, especially in our community? Many of them don't know how to read.
Doing that now, actually. We do it quite a bit of ways. I know every third Saturday of the month, we both are a part of 100 Black Men. We mentor young men through the 100 Black Men as well, to where they can come, middle school, high school, and they can come. We teach them different things, whether it be financial literacy, or whether it be how to tie a tie, or different things with mentorship. So there's that. We have our Adopt a Son program with Man Cave as well. We also connect with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, so they can get an actual mentor, that one-on-one. If they need that one-on-one counseling, we are connected with them as well. Me being a Phi Beta Sigma man, we have a Sigma Beta club, which we take young men and do things with them as well. I actually do have a seminar coming up March 29th, in which I will have somebody talking about financial literacy and getting into investments, and how even taking $25, maybe $25 a month, and putting into investments to get you started, So building financial literacy and different things like that through that way. So.
Yeah. Okay. What do? What I've noticed is that, especially if you have a collective, a group of young men, just ask simple questions. What do you like? Mm-hmm. And sometimes they sometimes they don't even know what they like.
They have no clue a lot of.
But I'm like, give me just one thing. And then when you find out that child likes something, for example, yesterday it was like, granted, I don't know about it. Mm-hmm. I'm not into it. But one of our mentors is. Mm-hmm. Somebody's like, hey, who watches anime? Yeah. Everybody.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then okay, so now, so when I think that when you touch that nerve of hope or of shared experiences, which we'll say anime, then okay, hey, you know what? Hey, let's get this book right here. Like you said, literacy. Well, I don't know what it's saying. Okay, then we can sit down and start breaking down because then boom, boom, then start reaching out. Okay, so this guy's doing this. This guy, no, and just start picking at the basics on that one. Same thing with financial literacy. God gave a hell of an example. He literally threw me off. I didn't know what he was doing. So he just PowerPoint slide. Of course, the only thing people thrive for more than anime was the money. He said, hey, who like money?
Everybody.
Hey, the 7-year-old. I don't like money. So, he's okay. I got this hand. He pulled out a board and a nail. He's like, pop, 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 pop. Then he put on pop, boom, 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 boom. He said, hey, roll a $5 bill. Roll tight. How many of y'all want to see me nail this $5 bill into this board? He said, okay. And everybody raised how you gonna do it? He said, see, I got this right here. But I don't have I don't have what I need to do to put it in there.
Yeah.
He said, I got money. I'll pay someone else to do it for me. And he showed the importance and the power of money. So he was breaking down literacy. So, but again, it goes back to the point of think about money. Everybody likes up. Everybody wants to learn then.
Yep.
Because everybody wants to know how young kid $5 or how to get $20 or but then you start saying, hey, this is how you can turn this $5 into $50. And he breaking down, hey, you do your chores around the house, your mom, dad give you some money. Take that $5 and then keep $250 and put that $250 away.
Yep.
Or if you don't want to do that, just put 10% of it away. Put 50% away every time you get money. And then watch it build.
So what do you think is more important in terms of today's living? Financial literacy or literacy in itself and learning how to read things that might be impacting financials?
Before I even go to that, I would say the most important thing is to realize how important you are. So once you start to realize how important you are, then you're going to want to do stuff. When people like a lot of these kids, they have no hope. They just know, okay, I'm another guy out here. I just want to be around my boys. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They have no goals, no inner hope or spiritual thoughts of, know what? I'm going to leave this block and go to the next block. They're going to stay on that same staircase. You know how it is in New York. You know how it is in Cincinnati. So once we say, hey, there is something around the corner, then they're going to, okay, now well, how do I get around that corner? And that's when that literacy can come in. See, but so I think before we talk about literacy or financial literacy, we got to give them the hope that, no, you go around the corner, there's something great for you. But you got to have that. You got to build that child up because a lot of them, unfortunately, are just so beat down that they don't even have the strength to even get up. So you have to literally put your hand out and say, come on, I got you. And that's why I think a lot of us are falling short. We're not taking the extra step and saying, hey, come on, let me help you up.
Yeah.
We want them. We didn't got to where we at.
Right.
So, and yeah, maybe we may have been beat down, but we got to where we at.
So you should be able to.
But you should be able to do it too.
The same thing.
So once they realize, hold up, you helping me up? Why are you helping me up? And on that way, why you helping me up? Let me tell you how important you are. Let me tell you how you can be this next so and so. Because everybody, all these rich folks didn't come from money. They had somebody had help, and then once that child realizes that somebody there to help him out, he's gonna realize he's important. Then he's gonna go, okay, I'm important. That's A. Literacy, okay. I'm not the best reader, or I'm not the best speaker, or I'm not the best. I don't like to talk in front of people. That can be B. And then once you start writing, okay, then C can be the financial part, but you can't do the finance if you don't know the regular, the plain.
The basics, the soft skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why, like I said, gatekeeping. Gatekeeping.
Okay, so that was going to lead to my other question. Unfortunately, And it happens as you see it a lot more as you get older.
Mm-hmm.
Older men and older women, a lot of them either overtly or covertly, are jealous of youth. And so they don't want to share, let me help you, because what happens if you exceed what I was able to exceed?
Yeah.
Since we're focusing on men, how do we help older men deal with the possible shame of not being what you thought your highest potential would be, so that you want to help younger men to do more, and you're not looking at them like, oh, you're my competition. No, I'm not your competition. I'm your legacy, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, so how do we help older men still see the value in what they can provide to these younger men, so that they want to say, you know what, I see that you're in this situation right here, and I don't necessarily like how it's going. I feel like y'all don't communicate, you don't do this well, you don't do that well. But if I teach you, you might exceed me. I don't really want to teach you, so I'll let you fall. How do we help them?
I would say, and yeah, some people are going to be mad, but it is what it is. I see this a lot in San Antonio with men and women. It is a gatekeeper's mentality just in general in this city, as opposed to when I'm going to Dallas or Houston. San Antonio people have a problem with that I don't understand it. I don't understand it within our community. I don't have all the right answers of what it will take. I just know a place to start is just having healthy conversations with some of these older gentlemen or people that are well off, and like you said, not coming off as competition, but hey, like building a healthy relationship with them first, you know what I mean? So that they don't feel threatened, you know what I mean? So they don't feel as much as a threat. And then once you build that healthy relationship with them, start taking little nuggets from them if they are willing to give them, but they might not be willing to give them unless you build that actual relationship with them. Like a lot of stuff, just like what I'm in, what I do, business intelligence and also a realtor. It's a relationship business. Got to build relationships with people, which is why I'm out socially or trying to do this, doing that, because I just want to meet people. I want to meet people. I want to be a resource for people, and I want people to be a resource for me. So that's why I am the way I am. So that's my 2 cents.
We need more guys, more men out here, my age, Juan age. We have to start being mediators. We have to start bringing the older and the younger to sit down at the table. Because we're closer to the young, we're closer to the old. So we're in the middle. Classic example. You remember this? Our last huddle that we had on black men and mental health during Dream Week.
Yeah.
There's an older gentleman, I can't remember his name, older gentleman from 100 Black Men of San Antonio. And then there was Bennett. He was speaking. Bennett's our youngest guy in the man cave. This guy was probably in his mid-60s.
Huge gap.
Huge gap. Huge gap.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we had men there who were in the middle who was able to bridge it. So, Bennett was saying one thing and the other gentleman was saying another thing. Not realizing, neither one of them, they were saying thing, but it just had to be somebody to bridge them. And that's why I say we need more middle-aged men to be mediators. We got to be that bridge. It may not be as easy as it sounds, but I'm pretty sure we all know a man. And it's not just men, but just for the sake of this conversation, we know older men who have the knowledge. And we already know we have youngsters who want the knowledge, but don't know how to get it. And then we have to just say, no, well, come on. So, hey, let's go sit down for coffee. I want you to meet so-and-so.
Yeah.
And just sit down and have not a discussion about money, Not discussion about women. We don't just talk about life.
Yep.
Tell me about how you grew up. Cause a lot of the young kids don't understand
You
the
grew up the
heart.
same way.
Exactly. Yes, you got social media. That is an extra caveat that we don't know about. But guess what? Those same things you was doing in school, we was doing them.
Yeah.
We was doing it a very We was doing everything. But until that sit down is had, nobody wants to know. They won't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say we gotta be, for instance, another example, basically, the man cave is basically the bridge from the 100 Black Men to the youth.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to reach the youth, but they need foot soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And that's what we can be, the foot soldiers. Because most of the men, the 100, are, they're older.
Mm-hmm.
They're more seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we still going around. We still, we the foot soldiers. We reach out. They help us this way, and they okay, hey, what y'all want us to do? Boom, okay, we can reach this child more than you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I've got a couple more questions, but I want them to be. What's the word that I want to use? I want to hear your perspectives on these words more than topics. Freedom or compliance? The idea, the irony that you both started laughing is like.
Just the word, not.
Tell me your first emotional thought once you heard the two words, and then what was the secondary thought?
First with freedom. That's a false dream. Compliance. That's really our reality. We all live in a compliant society. Do something that the powers that be say not to do. You're the rebel, and you're not standing compliance. So now we're gonna have to. They're gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
We know what illegal stuff is, but just speak out. I'll give an example. I know we said going this word, but example, speaking out against Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to freedom of speech?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't threaten them. You just said something, or Kyrie, you just posted something. What happened to be that's what's called free. That's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But compliance is that no, you're not supposed to talk about these guys, even though it's not written down, no illegal rules or no laws. We don't want you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take.
I immediately thought about two different things, probably random, but when I heard freedom, I immediately thought freedom to choose your person, freedom to choose your occupation, freedom to choose who you are. When I thought about compliance, I immediately thought about what's going on in our climate right now politically.
Mm-hmm.
That we need to comply with everything.
With everything that's going on.
What's going on, and we need to shut up and be okay with it. So that was where my thoughts.
Okay. What if I say to you, freedom is understanding the game and choosing your lane that you're going to play in it? I feel like that is where, people often use freedom as an extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is this complete lawlessness. In order for you to have freedom, you've got to have the ability to say no to everything and all things. Mm-hmm. And sometimes freedom is the peace of mind of saying, you know what? That's not my circus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel like men, for the most part, because you feel like you've got to have answers for everything. Like, can't go in a room and be like, I ain't got no answers, because that's not mannish. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So the freedom to say, you know what? that really ain't my concern. Like that's not where I'm at. Like that gives you enough emotional and mental space to be free, to free up that part of you that does not have to have answers for everything.
I think that where you said it greatly. I think that men aren't taught emotional freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So for most men, we're going to be a natural problem solver.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing and a bad thing. Like you said, we got to go in the room. I got to solve it. No. Like you said, if we are taught and accept our emotional freedom and emotional intelligence, we can say, you know what, this is not my battle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care no more. I'm going to sit back. But a lot of us go in there, no, I got to fix this.
Yeah.
Even if I don't have the tools to fix it, I don't even know where to start, but I can't say that.
Yeah.
And because what happens, but I guess the thing on the other end of it is what most of you don't recognize until it's too late, is when you take your hands off of it, 90% of the people will figure out their own way. Mm-hmm. They go to you because they know that you're not going to let it fall.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah. But if you just say, you know what, I got it. Yeah. And you take your hands off of it, people begin to fly on their own. And they look back and be like, man,
I should have been doing this.
Yeah. For the last 15 minutes fixing all your problems, and you can do this.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to, why would I?
Yeah. But I mean, I think that comes when folks realize that, just like in the military, we're just a number.
Mm-hmm.
The job will get done with you or without you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the dude. That's him and his family. The dude who got the U.S. health guy. Yeah. He got taken out. Not even 4 days later, his job was on the market. Yes. This guy, he's the top in the whole U.S. And you
only
out.
The top for the time that they have you at the top.
Exactly. And that's the same thing.
And then I posted something the other day that brought me to that too. I mean, learning. Everybody's emergency is not my emergency. So that's that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like the thing I'm definitely learning and definitely need to take heed to, because I'm so much of a problem fixer or trying to help people out. Like, because naturally, like, one thing my mom always drilled into me, we are put on this earth to help others. Like that's our job. But, just learning I can't be the one to help people out all the time. Like it can't be me all the time.
Yeah.
Got to lean on other resources or figure your way out sometimes. I know we're trying to help people, but there's a sense of, you help somebody, but they've got to take that extra step too and want it as well and want help for themselves as well. So,
that's true. Because soon your kindness will be turned to you being a fool.
Yeah.
They'll continue to use, keep on going.
So there's two things that I think lean into that. I feel like what your mom said, we're here to be of service. I think that our elders were really good at having these open-ended statements. Like, not necessarily giving you the scope to which it's like, this is where this is what I was actually saying.
Yes.
Saying you're supposed to be of service to people in this aspect. Because service could be, I'm going to talk you through this process, but you actually do the work. Mm-hmm. Or, like I said, I'm going to just sit here and see how much you want this for yourself.
Yes.
That's also an act of service, allowing somebody to fly for themselves.
It is. You're right.
I think we do people a really big disservice by saying, I'm going to fix everything for you. Because when, everybody is, mortal. Mm-hmm. Once it's your time to pass, what have you left these people with? Mm-hmm. they got to find another you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
not everybody's going to be willing. So now we set them up for failure. So I think about that all the time. Man, like these open-ended statements, I'm supposed to be of service to who and to when.
Yeah.
And again,
Yes.
go back to it. Ain't nobody even saying I got to be of service to myself.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
It's key.
That's
like,
yeah, that is so true.
Take a break from me. When can I take my own solo vacation and just breathe or cry or just do nothing and then not be looked at like I'm failing on my job? Or what do you mean you're going on vacation by yourself? Yeah, I'm going on vacation. I want to spend some time with me.
Yeah.
I haven't been with me alone in many, 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 many years. I would like to do that. And it not be a problem.
It is so funny you say that. I know, Juan, you can attest to this. Most men can attest to this, especially with those who are in relationships. And when we sit down and we just don't want to do nothing, and our significant other says, hey, we got to do this.
Yep.
That is the one time that for us to this, like you said, there is no, I'm not, I saw a comedian guy. I think
I done did everything I needed to do just so I can have this time.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not looking at nothing. TV may be on, but I'm not even looking at it. I'm not listening to nothing. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just in the complete void of nothingness.
And it's wonderful.
And it's wonderful. For like 5 minutes.
Hey! I'm trying to feel
You took the trash?
Yeah.
And track only got 2 things in it.
So when do you put your foot down and say no? This is my time to be void.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Seriously.
Yeah, no.
But when do you say that and accept, because this is the other caveat, accept the fact that she just gonna have to be upset?
That's right. And
it
needs to be done like that, instead of teaching.
But know what? That's the conversation that should be had almost near the beginning. Hey, baby, I need some alone time sometimes. Just because you want me to do something, doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it when you want me to do it. That's a conversation, and that's the key. And that's not a one-time conversation. That's a continuous, because that's what people forget. People got stuff going on, so you just know. Hey, I'm good. Okay, what you doing? I'm watching TV. Okay,
well, you may just want to take a load off for a minute, and because, like you're saying, the just doing it is the part. Me, I took the approach of trying to get her to do it, trying to get her to realize, like, hey, you need to sit down. Like, you need to sit down, sit still, instead of always trying to do something, always trying to do this, always trying to do that. Like, have that time for yourself to where you just sit still. It's so hard for her, but I'm trying to make her do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I take that time to do it. I'll take my time where I'll block it away from y'all. I'll be like, hey, look, I ain't available this particular day. Hey, y'all got it. You know what I mean? Y'all got it.
I got it. But also, that happens because, and for men and women, activity is rooted in worth. If I'm not doing something, I'm not showing my worth. I'm not showing that I'm useful. I'm not showing that I deserve my space here. And so people often, I'm jealous. I'm guilty of this a lot. Like having to show my worth in activity, in service, in doing things. And I had to break myself in order to like, girl, now you can't serve nobody. You can't even serve yourself.
Exactly.
Because you done did all of this. And I feel like people have to learn that it's okay. And your worth is more than what you can provide for others.
Right.
It doesn't have to be, okay, well, in order for you to see me, let me shovel you snow. Like, it doesn't have to be a physical act. Sometimes just you being you is enough to be enough. But we often don't know that. Okay. And so my last question to you guys, and I really appreciate this. This is exactly what I wanted it to be and what I needed it to be. Where is it? If you had the choice right now to choose between the life that you've always seen for yourself, but you had to leave your ego, would you still choose that life? Now think about the part that your ego plays in your life.
That's a good one.
Say that again.
If you could have the life that you've always wanted, with everything that you don't have to think about anything, everything is yours. But you had to leave your ego. Would you choose that life, or would you keep your ego?
I think I would probably choose that life.
Really?
Probably choose that life. Or I'm thinking ego in terms of just my mentality of where I was at earlier in life. That's where I'm thinking about ego as. If I could have done it all over again in my mentality that I had, then yeah, I would have chose different.
No, I'm gonna keep my ego.
Okay, you know what? I like it. I like the honesty of it. Tell me why.
Because just like everything else, your ego can be a pro and con. Your ego is, I'm gonna stand for something, or I'm gonna just let everything go. So if for us being men, we're competitive. So that's our ego. Okay, I gotta be right. So, like I said, it could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
But if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for everything. So I'll keep my ego and
work towards that life.
Exactly. I mean, because I'm a walking testimony. If of learning from other people's mistakes and letting my ego not go that same way. So I just learned. I think if I don't have my ego, or if I didn't have my ego, I'd be walking around. We walk without wisdom, without life experience.
It's good.
Like I said, you're gonna fall out of 5 times. You're gonna fall 4, but that one time you get up is when you will prevail. So I'll stick on. I'm gonna keep my ego.
And the key to that too is, I guess, in my thinking of just knowing what I know now. Like they always say, knowing what I know now, and and the way I could have led my life down on a different path. But then there's always that question of, but would I still be the same person? Because my journey, my struggles, they led me to where I am now. And, not to say that I'm perfect, but, I'm still growing, I'm still trying to get to a place to where, I thought I would be back in my 20s, 30s. And I'm 42. So a lot of me right now of my going to get it and going to do this and doing that. The third is because, like, hey, I spent so much time in my earlier years struggling or running, doing this, that, and the third, that I wasn't building wealth. I wasn't, taking care of a family. I wasn't doing all the things that I needed to be doing. So I'm now in that position of where, okay, trying to do better, trying to do more. So,
okay.
I like that too. I just want to add it. And this is for all y'all out there. I think a lot of folks, we had this concept, and you just spoke on it, Juan, is that I'm not where I wanted to be. That's not a bad thing, because you still, it's still eating at you as a being that I got to continue to be better and better and better. It's nothing worse than being satisfied. I don't care what nobody say. You get satisfied, you get complacent, then life just turns. Just like if you're in a marriage, people, it's notorious. We get complacent and satisfied, and then that flame is gone.
Yep.
You got to keep put some wood underneath.
Having something.
You got to have something to strive for. So, I mean, we all want that. I should have been there. I would have, could have, should have, but now we got something that keep hitting the back of the head. Keep going.
Yep.
Keep going. Keep going. And then we're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know what? I didn't really just want this. I want something else. So keep
this
going.
This wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought I wanted this, but.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to speak lastly on that too, it touches a nerve on gratefulness.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will perceive that you're not grateful for the life that you do have and where you're at now, just because you want more.
Yeah.
Just because you're striving for more.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You'll get the constant reminder, yeah, you should be grateful. And I am grateful.
Like,
but that doesn't
mean grateful.
I never said that. But that doesn't mean I don't want more from my life and I don't want to keep going. Like I don't want to keep, building my life up, building my family up and getting to the point that we're good.
Exactly. I mean, you got people, all of us, we got a pantry full of food. We still hungry.
Yep.
And then we always want something that's not in that pantry.
Mm-hmm.
Pantry, everything. I got everything.
I
want some Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Because they do this the way I want it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to, the hunger, if you have it, that hunger is going to continue until you pass on.
Yep.
Okay. So, feedback. What are we thinking? How do we feel about this whole process, the experiment, the great experiment? How do we feel? What do you think about your time here?
I think it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this us as two black men that just, for those who are watching, our sisters included, we're human just like y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We're human just like y'all. Some of us walk around with more on our shoulders, but we vulnerable and bleed and cry just like y'all do. But for the fellas, hey, find that someone to lean on. Because I think it was great.